So good supplements versus bad supplements. What makes a supplement good? What makes it bad? What makes it terrible? These are very important factors when you're considering taking supplements. I mean, wouldn't it be ridiculous if you invested in buying and swallowing supplements that didn't do anything because they're simply terrible? Okay, so let's talk about what makes them good, what makes them bad. I will be going a lot more into specifics within the course in future chapters that deal with specific supplements where it's relevant, because obviously this is going to be a general video, but it's important to know that that you will also have a special list of the supplements that are my favorites at this point, ready and at your disposal within my blog, and there will be a link in the video below. But let's go into the nitty-gritty. Let's understand a little bit. Remember, this is not a professional course, but still, you don't have to be a professional to notice some very specific things. Let's start with high quality in as far as the amount of vitamins and minerals within a specific supplements versus small amounts in others. Okay, if we just take multivitamins for an example, some multivitamins have the equivalent of about a bite of an apple, at times just in one capsule and sometimes in the whole box. Seriously, I mean, some of them have such a small amount that it's meaningless. Taking the whole box, you're not going to get much. And others would have like a very, very high level of vitamins, specifically and practically meant for very sick people that need a huge amount of vitamins proportionately to the normal needs of a person. And somewhere in the middle will be those that simply have the right proportions, the right amounts, first and foremost. If you have like 10 or 100 micrograms of B12, it's pretty meaningless if it's 10. It's very low if it's 100. Especially if you're going to be swallowing it and not using it sublingually and underneath your tongue, like we will talk is practical with B12. Or if you have like 20 milligrams of magnesium, where most people need between 2 to 4 to 600 magnesium a day, it's just meaningless. It's like minor or irrelevant, and many times in a complex, not necessarily a multivitamin, but a special supplement for the hair or all kinds of other interesting things we'll be talking about in the future, you will find that there's like one element that's actually in a relevant proportion, enough of it to make a difference. And then everything else, or most of the ingredients, will be in such tiny amounts that when you understand that, it's meaningless. I mean, what's the point? It's more of like an added picture or a drawing of flowers, It doesn't really make the difference that you would expect inside that supplement. So having the right amounts is one very important aspect. Another very important aspect is that some supplements are, synthetic. And when they're synthetic, they don't really do the job they're meant to do. If anything, they catch the place of the natural ingredient in the body, holding onto the receptor or whatever, and actually block the good and natural ingredient, say from the food, from entering and doing its job. So synthetic supplements are just not a good idea, and I'm afraid that there's quite a few of them out there. One of the classical examples is a fizzy kind of vitamin C that I would say, wow, tasty, fun to use, it's such a great idea. But I talked to the company and they said, no, this is synthetic. We don't need to, there's no need for a high quality and therefore expensive ingredient. I mean, people wouldn't pay for it. Oh, I disagree. Another aspect is ratio of ingredients one to the other. If you have like a lot of one element in B family vitamins and then just a little bit of another disproportionately, that would not be a good idea. There is a certain logic behind the proportions, and when we get to that family specifically, I'll be discussing that. And another issue, for instance, a very classical example of bad vitamins, and one of the examples I'll give you is actually of a very good company that has a bad example. It happens. I don't buy a company of supplements. I buy a supplement specifically to my expectations and needs. So very often I would take one from this company, one from that, and let's go back to the example that I was talking about. If you sell a B complex within a multi, or just as a B complex, just as a collection of the B vitamins, and you don't put them all in, just 4 out of the whole company, what's the point? I mean, what's the meaning of such a supplement? Okay, so good and bad is a very objective, professional choice. So in some of the cases, I'll be able to explain what to do and how to choose. In others, I will simply give you practical links to good supplements that are a good example of how it should be. And you can either seek out similar supplements if you can't find near you that specific, or you don't want to wait for a shipment from abroad or wherever you are. And sometimes you'll just be able to say, okay, let's see, this is the proportion, this is the amount of the specific ingredient in here. Okay, if we can get something similar next door in the nearest pharmacy or health food store, if I can find something similar, fine. And the last parameter I'd like to add into this video, and it's not the last parameter possible, but let's not flood it, is the fact that very often there's a lot of extra ingredients inside that are not part of the deal. I didn't want all those extra ingredients. I just wanted that specific supplement. So the more additives a supplement has, the less I consider it quality material. So we want supplements that are the right amount, the right ratios, natural, not synthetic, without too much additives inside just to fill up the capsule. I want it to be the better choice. And that way I know that if I take that supplement, I'm getting 100% of what we know as humanity to create today. And it changes, by the way. That's actually another tip. So until the next one, check your vitamin stores. Check your vitamin collection in the house if you have one. Does it seem like it fits those criteria? And if it seems like, hey, I don't know, this video didn't give me enough information to be able to make that choice, okay, hey, it's just the beginning. We'll go much deeper into the practicals of this per supplement so you know to choose the best. Okay, until the next time.